See, it's just moving the bit. Just this. And so try using your fingers. That's it. There's no backward pull to it.
Okay.
Okay? It's just simply, you know, a horse that's working correctly on the bit, the tongue is a little alive. You know, I don't mean it's flapping around, but I mean, you know, if your mouth goes dry, and then you know, you kind of with your tongue around to get the saliva flowing, that's what we want the tongue doing. A little bit of motion. So what in effect you're doing is sort of saying, just move your tongue a little. Just move your tongue a little. And we talk about a horse with a dry mouth. Usually a horse with a dry mouth is against the bit. You know, and we like, your horse doesn't have a very wet mouth, but you know, some horses get all slobbery.
Yes.
That's wonderful. You know, in the dressage world, we never clean a horse's mouth off before he goes in the ring. In the hunter world, you know, they're always wiping the mouth, making sure everything's absolutely clean. We want a nice slobbery mouth. So that's what I'm telling you to do with that little movement of the bit. It's just again, there's no real pressure, and you do it, and then you're quiet. If you do it all the time, it'll lose its effect. Okay, let's go ahead. Forward, yep. Oh, and a little rounder. Just move the bit a little. Bend a little right. Yep. And halt. Halt. Move the bit just a little on his tongue. Yep. Yep. Good. Good. And walk. Yep. And now do the same thing. Don't halt, but sort of say, maybe I'd ask you to halt, and I'm going to move this bit. We'll keep a tiny little bend, just so he's a little bit off center. Bend him a little right. That's it. Bend him a little right. There. Bend him a little right. Good. Don't lose that little bit of bend. Good. He's getting a little tired of us. You feel it? Yeah. Good. Now straight ahead. Now you're going to stay on the track. And if he comes off the track, you're going to get a little tough on him. So shoulder, sit still with your hip. Shoulder and right. Give him a little tap with the whip right now. Go to the wall. Go to the wall. Go to the wall. Excellent. And straight. Onto the wall. The hind legs should never leave the wall. And again, just a few steps. Yeah, good girl. And straight ahead. And trot. Quiet. And diagonal. Now, Courtney, what I'm doing for just a few minutes is I want to make sure you're on the right track with a little shoulder in. Even if he's not totally on the bit, any of that, just to make sure that you're on the right track. Now make a large circle, and while you're circling, change your posting diagonal. But your whip should be in your inside hand. Yeah, and straight ahead, sitting trot. Make sure he's accepting your sitting. And a little shoulder in. Stay right on the track. Good. Sitting right in the middle of his back. I don't mind. And straight. Straight. Bending him away from the tourist attraction. Yeah, good girl, Sarah. And again, shoulder in. Oh, but you're not on the track. Yeah, right rein a little bit. Yeah, good. Right rein. That a girl. And straight. Now, he's totally above the bit. Right? But the positioning is correct. Okay? Large circle again. And what you want to do, first of all, is not do the hardest thing at the end of your ride, which is what we're doing right now. Bad idea. Have a really nice rideable trot. Ask for a few steps of shoulder in. He comes above the bit. You go straight. You get him back. You ask for a few steps of shoulder in until gradually you can do more and more steps on the edge, on the bit. Yep. Let's ask him to come a little rounder. That's it. That's nice. Push him just a little. Ask him to come just a little rounder. What I'd love to see for a moment is that he's too deep, meaning his head is a little behind the vertical. Not because that's where he should be, but because you should have a choice. You always want to have choices. You could go faster, you could go slower. You could go more sideways, less sideways. You could go with his head in the air, you could go with his nose on his knees. All of those things. Always have choices. And that's why if you can make him a little too deep, he's almost there, a little more. Right rein, don't bend him more. Yep. And remember, we're not tightening him. We're actually loosening that jaw so that his head comes closer to his chest. You kind of ask and then you give a little. Bend him. Please keep him bent. That's it. That's all right. That's all right. He said, Mother, you're crazy. Yeah. And walk a moment. Let's see if we can get it in the walk. Yeah. A little rounder. Good. A little rounder. A little rounder to the side of it. That's it. Now you're fine. More fun. There. That's too much. If you stay there, I get very unhappy. Okay? Now see if you can trot like that. Okay? Yeah. A little rounder. That's a little rounder. A little rounder. And there. Good. Little rounder. That's it. Little rounder. There. There. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Good. And now let him stretch down. Here's the ring. Bend him a little back. Here's the ring. Don't let it fall. And walk. Just stay walking a moment. Another thing you want to be aware of, if this is his neck, it's very long, and this is his head. An advanced dressage horse is a little bit like this. Neck is up, face is pretty much on the vertical. Okay, now, if you look at the angle between the neck and the head, it's this much. Now, if I were to keep that angle and simply to draw his neck down, look at how much behind the vertical he is. And this is a little bit the way he's going. So even if he's a little too deep with his low neck, it's not like he's being jammed together. We're actually saying to him, this is the angle of the head and neck we want, but I'm going to make it easier by letting your neck down. So, some people get so panicky about the horse going behind the vertical. You don't want a horse competing behind the vertical. You must always be able to ride the horse's nose out. But if you look here, this is kind of the way your horse is. A little bit of low neck. And when he's good, he's perfect. He's just barely in front of the vertical. But if we were just to change his balance, get him to sit and get him to raise his head, see how much in front of the vertical he is. So we're just practicing that extra bit of flexion. And as I say, you want to have a choice. You want absolutely to have a choice as to where and how he is. He should go with his head up in the air, or neck down, neck sideways, whatever.
We have a little bit of like
Oh, really? Oh, we'll be able to get along one time.
I think so. Of course, I thought we could get along getting here,
Yeah.
but
Well, don't hesitate. I have to leave immediately.
that's fine. I'll be fine. It's,
But don't hesitate to ask, like, the one of the guys in the barn.
yeah, he should be.
Don't hesitate to ask for help.
Yeah, he's been better on the way home every time.
Oh, you get me out of here. Okay, do you have any questions?
In terms of the hips, you were talking about,
Oh,
you're being too much.
Yes, you get a little bit like this.
Okay, but they should rock side to side.
A little
They
bit.
shouldn't
You
rock.
just, there is, for example, his back goes this way a little bit. Okay, as he moves, particularly the wall. So yes, you should follow that. So you get a little bit too much. And you definitely have a tendency to let your weight go the other side, which is normal, not acceptable, but normal. Overall, I mean, your position's good. You have a little bit of your head down sometimes, but you have a nice elasticity. Your leg is down. Your still could be a little quicker to the leg, but you're on his case. And just always make sure that he goes full. That he doesn't simply not stop, but he goes full. One irrelevant thing, just for technical bandaging. Ideally, your bandage should end like your hind one does, at the top. So you have to experiment a little bit where you start. You may have to start a little further down, go up, go down, come back up, or a little higher up, go down. And they're just behind bandages are super. The front ones are just a little bit elevated.
Thanks so much.
Very good. Give you something to work on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep up with the work.